Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Once again, thank you to all of you for making this channel possible. Please keep liking, please keep subscribing. The more this channel will grow, the more exciting and fun material we will have. Today, we're going to look at a game played by one of my students, Mark. Mark usually plays really long games with time control 45 minutes with a 45-second increment or longer, which is perfect time control considering that the world is reopening and tournaments with long time control and sometimes thousands of dollars at stake are starting to come back. But this game, Mark played a 10-minute game, much shorter game, and he was very proud of it. And I looked at it, and it was a very, very good game. And we are going to look at it and learn quite a lot. Okay, the game starts as the French, e4, e6, d4, normal French, c5. Now white has a choice. We can take, which is an exchange variation. We can push, which is the advanced. Or we can defend one of these ways. And Mark chooses to play knight c2, which is the so-called Tarrasch variation. The main point of knight c2 is if we play knight c3, black has an option of bishop b4, which is the winner. And sometimes white wants to not play it. And by playing knight c2, bishop b4 right now is just stupid because we'll play pawn c3. The downside, of course, is our knight is slightly less active. Black can play c5, which he cannot play after knight c3. And also we block the bishop. But this is a very good move. Black plays one of the main options. He puts more pressure on the center. Mark pushes e5, attacks the knight. The knight drops here. Another advantage of the knight not being here and being on c2 instead, now we can actually play something like c3 and build a pawn chain. If the position closes, the knight on c3 is not the greatest knight in the world. Mark gains more space with pawn f4. Before playing anything like knight f3, black challenges the center, pawn c5. A lot of people on the lower range of the rating spectrum like to take. Taking is not very good because it allows black to develop with tempo. We might take eventually, but we don't need to take yet. And so Mark simply reinforces the center. He has this very, very nice pawn chain now. And black plays c4, which is not entirely stupid, but he probably can play better here. It's better to keep this tension because at some point maybe white will take and will be good for black. So something like knight c6, for example, probably makes a lot of sense here. At any rate, pawn c4 is not bad, and if you notice we have this closed pawn structure, which means at some point white will try to play f5, and at some point black will try to play b5, d4. When the position is closed, it's a good idea to attack on the side where your pawns are pointing. Knight f3 by Mark, which is a fine move. Another possibility is to put the knight on h3, which looks weird, but the logic there is at some point we want to play f5, and this time we'll go to f3, and this time we'll go to f4, which could get kind of interesting. At any rate, knight f3 is a very logical move. Black plays h6, which is not completely insane, although maybe there are more active options available. And Mark plays g3, just a very solid move. White has more space, and white can slowly build up if he has a chance. Black plays knight c6 as he should. That's a good knight. Mark plays bishop g2, which is a fine chess move. White wants to castle at some point, and this bishop probably makes a little bit more sense here than here. Black plays b5, which, again, as we mentioned, since the position is closed, black wants to work on this side of the board. And Mark plays b3. So the thing with b3 is it's not a terrible move, but we don't really need to play b3 because this is where black is working. This is where he has more space. So unless we can manage to close the position, this is probably not great. And what black should do, so taking first all is bad. A lot of people, again, when they see that they can take, they take, but this is just very good for white because we have an open line. At some point, we might play c4, which will make him excited. Um, but what black should do, black should break everything. Something like this could be a very, very interesting move, and this is a useful idea to remember. The logic is black wants to explode the position. This is the side where he has an advantage. So if here, for example, black can take here first attacking the knight, then he can try to take here, and the position becomes a little bit random, but really, really, really fun. And if white takes here, black can even play this move first and then take back over here. At any rate, black played knight b6, which is a sensible move. Black is moving his pieces to the queen side. And now Mark takes, and Mark wants to keep the queen side kind of closed. Black does not want to take this way, because, again, this bishop becomes good. He takes with the knight. If he takes with the pawn, I mean, he has a little bit more space. It will take a little bit of time for him to get things going. At any rate, black takes with the knight. Mark takes, and again, taking with the pawn, not so much fun, because the bishop plays chance, so black takes with the pawn. Mark castles, which is perfectly sensible. Bishop e7, black gets ready to castle. And Mark plays knight e2, which makes quite a bit of sense, because remember, we want to play f5, the knight is getting in the way, and this is a fairly logical square to put him on. Knight e1 could also be possible. We can also maybe move our bishop and then play knight here, but this is fine. Knight e2. Not the most exciting move in the world by black. I suspect he's a little bit afraid to castle and he needs to do something, so he thinks this is something. It's not entirely clear if his bishop is better here or not. If he, this was one downside, by the way, of putting your pawns on the light squares like this. It's very, very, very hard for this bishop to do anything sensible. And Mark plays bishop h3, which is fine. He's further preparing f5. It's actually a little bit interesting. An argument can be made that f5 right away could be a little bit better to just try to open the position. Black cannot take because of this. And the idea is, by playing bishop h3, we actually given black time to play g6 and to try to hold everything. Black did not do it. In fact, black castled now, which is interesting because the attack is just starting now. And so Mark starts the attack, pawn f5. He wants to open the rook. He wants to open the bishop. That's an excellent move. Okay, black takes. If he doesn't take, the ideas of pushing here at some point, combined with that. Black took, Mark took back. Black took, Mark took back. Black attacked the rook with tempo, connecting the rooks. Mark dropped the rook back. Maybe it's a little better to drop to f4 because it's a little bit more flexible, but rook f2 is a fine move. Black realizes his knight is not doing anything, so he tries to bring it into the game. And Mark does the same thing. He needs to bring attackers. He opens the bishop. The knight might relocate like this. And he's getting ready to attack. 96 is a fine move, but at some point black might consider actually challenging white extra space. This is a very, very nice pawn chain. So pawn f6 with the idea to open up your own rook could actually be very interesting. Knight e6 is played instead, and Mark plays queen g4 with a simple threat. This is a pin, which means this is a free pawn. Okay, black decides that he does not want to lose his pawn. Very, very sensible move. And Mark is building up an attack. The knight is going to try to come here. And again, black should probably consider some sort of counterplay. Because again, rook d8, okay, he possibly wants to try to trade queens. He defends the rook so that he can move the knight. But essentially, black is hoping that nothing too terrible will happen to him. And terrible things might begin to happen very soon. The knight cannot move now. We will checkmate. We already pointed here. So there's some ideas of possible sacrifice. Black tries to reinforce. And Mark plays queen h5, hitting this pawn. And again, there are very, very concrete sacrifice ideas on this square. Because if we take once and we take the second time, this will be checkmate. Black defends, and here Mark plays. Mark is down to 2.5 minutes. And he plays this move, which is a really, really, really good move, except that black has a very nice response, which he didn't find. This is the only fault with Mark's play in this game. And this, again, this is a very, very strong move. Black only has one response, and we'll see what it is in a second. But the move is just to build up. This isn't going to be an incredible night. We're going to connect to this square with everything we have, and white is much, much better. Mark plays here. So the logic is if black takes... so the reason Mark is doing this, so first of all, we are connecting over here. And second of all, if he takes, we can take back. We can take this way, and we are doing incredibly well. And by the way, he cannot take us again because it's checkmate. And he's just down a pawn. So he has to play with a pawn because we're threatened to move our knight or take the rook. And the other point of Mark's play was now there's this open. And it looks like black's position is about to fall apart, except there is one which black has here which holds things together. It's not an obvious move. I'm going to pause and let you find it. And the move, it's actually very instructive because normally when a queen is attacked, your first thought is my queen is attacked, I need to move it. But the best move is actually knight g7. And the logic is black is attacking the white queen. White is not losing here. This position is about even. But one important thing to consider when you're playing chess, when someone attacks something of yours, yes, you should be aware of what's happening, but you shouldn't always just run away when you're being attacked. Black runs away, and that makes sense because he pins the rook, and now it looks like Mark is in trouble, except he takes the bishop. And the point is the bishop was defending the pawn, and now the entire position just falls apart. Black has absolutely nothing here. He'll get checkmated or lose a lot of material. Black chose to get checkmated instead, and Mark takes and checkmate. Okay, very, very, very good game by Mark, especially considering the time control. I can't wait until he comes back and plays in person again. He reached the rate of 2000 in Rapid. Actually, it's not even Rapid. For him, it's 2000 in Classical because his time control is really 45-minute games or longer. And so I can't wait until he puts what he learned during the past 15 months on the chessboard. Few key lessons from this game. Once again, when the position is closed, something like this. When the middle is closed, you want to attack on the side where your pawn's point, which means white's plan is f5, black plan is b4. And usually you don't, there are exceptions, but usually when you're being attacked, you don't want to push too many pawns on that side of the board. You want to focus on the other side. Um, and lastly, always look for tactics, always look for forcing moves. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, please subscribe. Once again, Mark, congratulations. I see many successes happening very soon. And thank you all, and I will be back.